out so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about the items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. Well, I got a little feedback in there. You got to love that every once in a while. But we'll talk about anything that I feel would benefit you. But before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest. Chris Bissonnette is in the house. Welcome.
Hellos.
Glad to have you with us. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you, and you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing planner, plan to save you money. I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. We are celebrating today. I think the celebrations are getting a little challenged. Today is, can't go wrong here, National Croissant Day. Not bad, right? Mean, I personally, maybe I like a cronut, or just in case those of you that are not familiar with cronuts or croissants, we can always turn the clock back, go to January 27th, and go to National Chocolate Cake Day. Yeah. I've been stuck on National Chocolate Cake Day. I don't know. I guess it just must be me, but let's look at the markets for you. We do that every day. Good day in the markets right now. Dow Jones Industrial Average up 367 points right now. Oil, that's a fascinating one because there's not a lot of logic in the oil market right now. Oil is up $1.54 a barrel. Why is it up? When we just had a report this morning that the reserves grew, so that means we're not using as much oil as is being produced, yet oil is up. The gasoline, 225.6, is the national average, down a little bit from yesterday, down a little bit from a week ago, down from a month ago, down from a year ago, but then again, we can still look at Taxifornia, and we're about $1 a gallon higher than the national average. You got to just love Taxifornia. We keep doing the same things over and over again. Somehow we expect different results. But hey, maybe we can elect Kamala Harris to be president, and that way we can have no doctors, no nurses, no insurance companies. Wouldn't that make a whole lot of sense? But in California, I will throw the projection out there. California voters will have no problem electing her. I'm just throwing that out. Unbelievable. Moving right along, what is happening in the bond market? That's another area that we watch for you on a regular basis. 10-year treasuries are up a little bit, almost about 2 ticks this morning. I like to put your money into the German 10-year bond. Now, it's fascinating. Germany, their 10-year is at 0.19. A lot of love that one, right? Put your money in there for 10 years and get, well, it's a lot better than Japan. Japan's at 0.003. You gotta love that now.
So interesting.
Isn't it fascinating watching? The 30-year Fannie Mae bond is down a little bit, which means interest rates are up just a little bit. So we're watching that one for you as well. Obviously, and I cannot, I guess we could mention it, the big game this weekend. I know if you're planning a Super Bowl party, you might want to have some contingency plans. If you've got an outdoor video or TV setup.
Oh, is it going to rain?
A lot of rain, looking forward to it. In the rest of the country, think of the bright side. At least Chicago, what today is going to be?
Minus 50?
Well, I've been there. I've been there when it's been minus 70 with the chill factor. That's cold.
Wow.
It is not fun. Moving right along, talking about not fun, how would you like to be Facebook right now? And I know that they've got a lot of money. But every time you turn around, Facebook is in the news, and it's not for good reasons. Now they've convinced kids to pay them $20 a month to have all of their stuff stored online. Now, with all the things that have gone on with Facebook lately, do you trust them? They just sign here and we'll charge you $20 a month. Probably charge mom and dad $20 a month. Let them pay the bill. That's the way it's been working lately with Facebook. And they came out today, and I full disclosure, they did come out this morning and say that, hey, you know something? Everybody signed an agreement saying they understood it. Now, Chris, you've got young kids, right?
Yes.
Can they sign their name?
I mean, my 4-year-old barely probably could, but she wouldn't understand what she's signing.
Exactly, and that's what Facebook's banking on, so they'll charge you $20 a month. But she signed the approval.
I thought you had to be like 16 and then or older for it to be valid or something like.
But the problem is Facebook doesn't think that those rules apply to them. I'm just saying. Did you watch the other news that came out? Apple came out with some great earnings yesterday. Everyone was putting Apple out to pasture, and they come out saying that their numbers are much better than expected, but it was all on the cloud side. Not selling a whole lot of iPhones right now, but the services doing pretty well on that. So we're watching that one for you as well. Also, if you are... You couldn't have planned this one, because you probably wouldn't have known it, but I saw this story this morning. This was fascinating to me. Now, if you are watching the big game, and if you just so happen to be pregnant, anybody in the labor and delivery room, I would make sure that you have the Super Bowl on while you're in the labor and delivery room. Because Pizza Hut is giving free pizza and tickets to next year's game to the first baby born following the kickoff. So you have to hashtag Pizza Hut special delivery is the method of getting in on that one. Pizza Hut special delivery. So that is the method for them. And if you have a cool $1 million laying around and you think you want to have nothing better to do with $1 million for 30 seconds, you can get a commercial during the pre-game shows. $1 million for a 30-second commercial, but if you wait till the game starts, yeah, it's going to jump up to $5 million. $5 million.
I was going to guess 3, but
$5 million for a 30-second commercial during the game. But you know, I think if I remember correctly, isn't that how GoDaddy got started?
Oh yeah, I remember those GoDaddy commercials.
Way back when, GoDaddy, they put it all on the line, and they put that commercial up there, and all of a sudden, you know, it
was kind of controversial a little bit.
A little bit controversial, but you know something, it built a heck of a company, and he sold that company for millions or billions, whatever it was. Amazing. Moving right along in the daily briefing, Mitch McConnell, Senate Majority Leader, said Tuesday that he wants Special Counsel Robert Mueller's report on the Russia investigation to be as open as possible. That means go to Costco, buy a ream of paper, blank, and you can publish that. Might be a bestseller, and that you'll have all the information that they've got on the Russian collusion. So far, they have found absolutely nothing. Just moving on from there. Baltimore State Attorney Marilyn Mosby. Do you remember Marilyn Mosby? She was the infamous Attorney General or State Attorney that was a couple of cases that she just got them just a little bit wrong. But now she is saying her office would cease prosecuting people for possessing marijuana regardless of the quantity or the person's criminal history, calling the move monumental for justice in Baltimore. Mosby also requested the courts vacate convictions in nearly 5,000 cases of marijuana possession. Really? No wonder, you know, maybe somebody pleaded down from trafficking to possession, and that's the idea there in Baltimore. You just got to wonder about this. Is there anything about stupidity in the election world? I don't get it here, but
I got a bad feeling about this.
Yeah, it's going to be trouble. I would just say that. A few thousand U.S. military service members will be sent to the border with Mexico in the coming days. Pentagon confirmed this. Another migrant caravan made its way north from Honduras. The Department of Homeland Security, DHS, requested additional surveillance, folks. So they're just going to go down there and watch, I guess. I don't know exactly what that plan is, but that is the idea. DC Antifa leader charged with ethnic intimidation related to attacks on Marines. Where does it stop? Representative Joe Kennedy, Democrat from Massachusetts, offered former Georgia gubernatorial candidate Stacey Abrams advice for when she is due to present the Democrat response to President Trump's State of the Union address next week. Kennedy, who gave the response last year, tweeted out some tips as Abrams prepares for her rebuttal. His tips included: be yourself. Wonder if he put in there, don't drink water. Be the fighter we know you are, and keep snacks handy. Because the president will talk longer than expected. Okay, we got that one there. Not a big deal in that one. Now, I don't know about you. I could think of about 1 million people more than Stacey Abrams that I would want to be listening to as a rebuttal. Do I have any reason to think that she's got something of value to say? I just don't know her. I'm not saying that she does or doesn't. I'm just saying I don't know. I've never heard anything pro or con of her. All I know is that she lost the election. I do know that, but we'll digress. Moving right along, you are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, getting your financial house in order. We're going to chat with Chris Bissonnette about that one. Have some good information there. 4 proven ways real estate can build sizable family wealth, and the states with the highest tax refunds. All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, it's 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams, or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Did you know that banks and credit bureaus are rewarded financially if you have bad credit? And the worse your credit score is, the more money they can make off of you? How does that make you feel, knowing that banks are getting rich off of your hard-earned money? How does it make you feel, knowing that if a bank or a credit bureau makes a mistake on your credit report, they benefit from it and it hurts you? The Fair Credit Report Act of 1971 requires banks and credit bureaus to report only accurate information, and nearly 100% of all credit reports are inaccurate. If you're sick and tired of being broke and tired of being robbed by the banks, you owe it to yourself and to your family to call Rondi. Rondi is a FICO-certified credit professional and has helped thousands of people just like you get out of debt and establish great credit. Rondi's number is 855-608-1990. Again, that's 855-608-1990. Or visit creditsanitizer.com. Again, that website is creditsanitizer.com.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452.
Are you a veteran, police officer, firefighter, doctor, nurse, or teacher? If so, you qualify as one of Ron Siegel's VIP heroes, and we have rewards up to $5,000 or $10,000 when you buy, sell, or refinance a home with one of the Ron Siegel Radio partners. As one of the heroes, real estate agents will rebate part of their commission, lending partners will give a credit at closing, the title company has special published rates, and many other service providers have incentives too. All you need to do is call Ron Siegel Radio at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit VIPHeroProgram.com. Just think about what you will do with all the rebates and incentives from the the partners of Ron Siegel Radio. Just call us at 800-306-1990 so we can show you our appreciation for your service.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio. Or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Gold Star Mortgage. When you're ready for that next mortgage, Gold Star has the programs and the products for you. They're the only one I know of with the Fast Pass loan approval, saving you potentially $10,000 to $50,000 on the purchase of your new home. Dow Jones Industrial Average now up 380 points. And growing, the 10-year Treasury up 2 basis points. Fannie Mae bond, the bond itself is down, which means interest rates are up just a little bit. And I would anticipate that will continue to go up a little bit as the stock market gets better and better. And we are getting close to some technical breakouts on the S&P 500. So if that happens, then we should see that bond drop and interest rates go up even further. But again, as I share with you every day, that is what is happening. The question that you need from here is, why is it happening? Well, we're going to get the Federal Reserve's two-day meeting conclusion in about 2 hours today. Unlike previous meetings, every meeting this year is going to have a press conference after it, which means that there could be a lot more news coming out of it from what the Federal Reserve is saying, more than what they are doing. The Fed probably will not hike rates today if they've clearly explained that they can remain patient, quote unquote. They also said, however, that adjusting quantitative tightening or their balance sheet reduction plan is on the table, so they might not continue that or be as aggressive with that. If the Fed reduces the amount they are letting fall off their balance sheet each month, it can have a significant impact on the markets. Most likely stocks will benefit, bonds will not. So that is one other issue that we are watching. ADP reports show jobs that were 213,000 jobs created in the month of January, which was 39,000 better than expectations. Wow. December's reading was revised lower by 8,000, still a great number, down to 263,000. Within the report, the service sector accounted for 145,000 jobs, while the goods sector added 68,000 jobs. And they don't always correlate with Friday's BLS report, but it gives us a good indication that we'll probably have a strong report then as well. We're still seeing activity in the Mortgage Bankers Association. They're a little off right now, so I'm not going to spend too much time with that one. And the reason they're off is they don't do a good job of adjusting for holidays. Last week was Martin Luther King holiday, so we're not going to get too much into that. Pending home sales, that's a biggie. That measures signed contracts on existing homes. Good leading indicator for existing home sales. And that one was down 2.2%. in December. They expected a gain of 0.5%. Pending home sales are now down 9.8% year over year. Why did we have lower contracts signed in December? Stock market saw significant declines during that period, and it hurts consumer confidence. It's called the wealth effect. Might have to talk to Chris Bissonnette about the wealth effect later on in the broadcast. So that is part of that issue. That's the Mortgage Minute, again, brought to you by our friends at Gold Star Mortgage, the only one with the Fast Pass loan approval. We are going to chat this morning. We are going to chat right now. Our friend Chris Bissonnette is with us, LPL Financial. Once again, I will share this with you. Chris is here to help educate us. He is not giving us any kind of financial guidance. He's not telling us what we should buy, what we should not buy, no offers, none of that kind of good stuff. I throw my 2 cents in. They have nothing to do with his opinion. So being that I'm a radio guy and I don't have a license, I don't tell you what you should or shouldn't do. I just tell you what my opinions are. You make your own decisions, or better yet, give me a call at 800-306-1990. I'll put you in touch with Chris Bissonnette, and then he can do the analysis work and give you the guidance that's best for your family. So Hopefully our compliance people will be happy with us, Chris.
I thought that was pretty good. It was a good disclosure.
and you know something, I'm not in with the compliance guys. Most of them don't like me, but markets, people are, I've been chatting, and as we've developed our Get Mortgage Ready program, and a lot of it has to do with plans and finances, but it also has to do with credit scores. And I'm looking here, you've got this literacy program coming up, and it baffles me when I talk to individuals and listeners how deficient our society is in financial literacy.
Yeah, how illiterate they are. You know what? And again, thank you, Ron, for having me back on. It's always a pleasure to come on and assist your listeners with some ideas. 2019, get your financial house in order. So this is a workshop series that I'm kind of presenting today, and I'm starting next month. And I go through a bunch of different topics, and really,
isn't it hard to believe that we're already finishing the month of January?
Time flies.
Wow.
Time flies.
Holy cow.
Time flies. And I think the main thing people need right now is financial life management. I know we've talked about it before. Just getting their stuff organized is probably the main thing that they need. And by doing that, we'll give them the new word now. It was financial wellness is what companies have, but now it's financial well-being.
Financial well-being.
Yes.
Okay, so I got to get my lingo down.
That's
straight.
the new phrase.
The new buzzword, financial well-being.
Yes, we want Americans to have financial well-being. We don't want them stressed on their finances, fighting with their spouses because they have too many accounts, and as I've talked before, we have too many passwords. There's just too much stuff coming at us.
Absolutely. Sergio, you know about people that are fighting with spouses, right? I mean, that's a good one. Glad to see you with us here, Sergio. Alex, glad to see you with us as well. But that's a big issue right there, is if people could just understand finances and work on them together.
Exactly. A lot of it's in their head, so we've got all this stuff in our head, and retirement, insurance, etc. And if you could just use a program, get it organized, and again, it'll make your life a lot more smooth. And then you can talk about savings and budgeting, college planning, and getting your FICO score up, and your retirement, your debt management, all these different things.
Sounds like I'm going back to school again. I don't know. Of course, I guess being that we didn't do it in school, we need to do it now, or deal with the consequences.
It's funny you bring up the school thing too, because I'm just now that I work with the Irvine Chamber as their financial education task force, we're realizing that there isn't a class on this. They teach you the basics on how stuff works, but there isn't a class on how to actually implement these, how to buy a house, how to get a credit card. And so financial literacy is now starting to move into the schools where they're offering these workshops and these classes.
Interesting, and they need it. I mean, when I was a kid, and I'm old, right? But we had a class called home economics.
I had something in high school, I think when I was a junior, which was kind of a business 101, but what's interesting is a lot of people I've talked to never had that class, and then when you get to college, they don't have that. Almost like they almost need a class on getting married and how to raise a family. They just don't have those classes.
Well, that one might be an interesting one to deal with. That one's a little bit of a different issue. But the finances issue, and we've been talking, like I said, we've been talking about this a lot on Ron Siegel Radio, is, and we're going to talk in the next segment about, real estate. But I would say 90% of the people I talk to have no clue about what is a debt-to-income ratio.
There you go. There you go. And I'm actually surprised, too, when I talk to people about, hey, make sure that you sign up for Credit Karma or one of these, what your FICO score is. Surprisingly, a lot of people never heard of Credit Karma and really don't know what their FICO score is. And
ironically enough, we just talked about Credit Karma. Stay away from it. But we just talked about that last week. There are better services. And it's kind of like going to Lending Tree, right? Not a bad company. Not at all. And I don't have anything bad to say about Credit Karma either. Right, but the issue is do you want, like, you've got a great program for financial planning, or for putting your whole your finances in one spot.
Yes.
But that program's focus is not on selling my data.
Yeah. So exactly, it might be, I guess what you're saying, it might be similar to like a Mint, where they don't charge you, but then they take your information and they can market it to other people.
Right. And that's all I'm saying is, I mean, as long as you know that that's their focus is to market your information to somebody else, hey, okay, well, that's fine. But I like the programs like yours where you can go in there and do budgeting and maintain your finances and watch what's going on. But I'm not going to get hit with a bunch of advertising.
Exactly.
Right. So that's a huge difference. And again, as long as you know what it is, it's all good. But the bottom line is that we want to educate you on all these different things and what it means to be saving. I mean, I listen, Chris, I'm going to talk to you about this in the next segment, and you're not even chat about it. But Wilbur Ross last week or the week before made a comment about the government workers and contractors and the fact that he didn't understand why they had to go to a soup bank while the government was shut down. And I think that what was really missed in that whole conversation was something that you've been promoting for a long time, is you got to take financial responsibility and have that emergency account. Right? And we're going to talk about that when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. Also talk about proven ways real estate can build sizable family wealth and the states with the highest average tax refund. We're going to talk about all that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. On Twitter, @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Siegel Lending Team offers you buying power. Let's say you can afford a monthly mortgage payment, including principal and interest, of around $1,900. With today's rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage of 3.75%, APR 3.85%, that payment could support a $416,000 mortgage. But if you wait and rates tick up to around 6.5%, which is roughly the average home mortgage rate over the past 30 years, that same $1,900 mortgage payment, including principal and interest, may only be able to support a $314,000 mortgage. That's over $100,000 worth of home you're missing out on by waiting. That's buying power. All you need to do to get started is reach out to the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Payment example excludes taxes and insurance. Call us for full details, 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 or SiegelLendingTeam.com. Equal housing lender, licensed under NMLS number 217037.
Are you purchasing or own a luxury home? If you're like so many others, your home is your largest asset and the mortgage is your largest debt. The Siegel Lending Team has some amazing financing opportunities right now. Jumbo loans up to $2 million, 30-year rates below 4%, 15-year rates near 3.5%, and if you can believe it, 7-year interest-only hybrids in low 3s. The Siegel Lending Team has all the options for your jumbo or second home loan requirements. Take advantage of them while you can. To learn more about all the other financing products available from the Siegel Lending Team, call 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Again, call 1-800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender.
Homeowners that are 62 and older are about to find out a great way to live a better retirement. It's called a reverse mortgage, and SLT can help you learn more. Call the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990 right now to receive your free booklet with no obligation. It answers questions like how a reverse mortgage works, how much you qualify for, the ways to receive your money, and more. When you call the experts at Siegel Lending Team today, you'll learn the benefits of a government-insured reverse mortgage, how it will eliminate your monthly mortgage payments, and give you tax-free cash from the equity in your home. Here's the best part: you still own your home. Now is the best time to take control of your retirement. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 to get your free brochure. Call today or visit our website at SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Or simply call 800-306-1990.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Alex, you are absolutely correct. Pay yourself first. Part of your budget. A lot of times if you just set this up with your employer, you can actually pay yourself first that way, because you say, okay, I want 5% of my income to go into this savings account, and I want 5% to go into my car fund, and 5% to go into whatever, and then you have the balance come to you. And again, you know, unless it's for a match, I am not a fan of the 401k or the IRA. I think people have, the financial experts have some better options for you than those tools. So I'm just not a big fan, but you got to take that match. Got to take the match.
Take the free money.
Take free money. Anytime you can get free money, take that one.
Yeah.
Real-time real estate segment today brought to you by the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text ATP to 79564. Build your household board of directors. 4 proven ways real estate can build sizable family wealth. Recently, David Green, co-host of Bigger Pockets podcast and nationally renowned author and speaker, wrote an article in Forbes explaining how investing in real estate could help build wealth. Many of the points he made also apply to a family owning their home. Here's a couple of them. Number 1 is appreciation. The rising of home prices over time is how the majority of wealth is built in real estate. This is the home run you hear of when people make a large windfall of money. While prices fluctuate over the long run, real estate values have always gone up. Always. And there is no reason to think that is going to change. One thing to consider when it comes to real estate appreciation affecting your ROI is the fact that appreciation combined with leverage offers huge returns. If you buy a property for $200,000 and appreciates to $220,000, your property made a 10% return. However, you likely did not pay cash for the property and instead used the bank's money. If you consider that, you may have put 10% down, $20,000. You actually have doubled your investment, a 100% return.
That's a good point.
Number 2 is leverage. By nature, real estate is one of the easiest assets to leverage I've ever come across. Maybe the easiest. Not only is it easy to leverage the financing of it, but the terms are incredible compared to any other kind of loan. Interest rates are currently right around 5 to 6%. Down payments can be 20% or less, and loans are routinely amortized over a 30-year period. Paying off the debt, one of the best parts of real estate is the fact that you're slowly paying down your balance with each payment to the bank. After enough time passes, a good chunk of every payment comes off the loan. Again, I am not a fan of having a lot of equity in your real estate. I want to take that equity out and make it work for you. You give it to the financial planners who have some great tools for you that can give you a spread. There's only 2 ways in this country to make money. Maybe there's more, but I only know of really 2. One is your own efforts, right? That's what we're doing every day, going out to work. And the other is let your money work for you, right? So if you've got a bunch of debt equity, that's not working for you. Number 4 is forced equity. Forced equity is a term used to refer to the wealth that is created when an investor does work to a property to make it worth more. Example, this would be adding a 3rd or 4th bedroom to a property with only 2, adding a 2nd bedroom to a property with only 1, or adding more square footage to a property with less than the surrounding houses. Though Green was talking about investors, the same could be said about a family upgrading their home. The bottom line, Green put it best by saying, quote, "There are many ways to build wealth in America, but real estate might be the safest, steadiest, and simplest way to do so," unquote. Give me a call at 800-306-1990 if you want to have a further conversation about that. That is the Real-Time Real Estate segment, brought to you by the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Build your household board of directors. I'm just throwing that out there to you. You got to have it. The biggest companies all have board of directors. What makes you think that you can do without a board of directors? Just my thought. Continuing our conversation, Chris Bissonnette is with us. LPL Financial is the name of the company. So building wealth, that's kind of what you do all day, every day.
Well, that's the goal.
Right?
That's the goal, right? And then there's a balancing act between wealth and debt. You can have debt. People think, oh, debt. No, you can have debt, like you said. You just got to have it balanced.
You have to have it balanced, and there's a big difference, in my opinion, between good debt and bad debt. right?
Exactly, like real estate, good debt. You know, credit cards,
bad debt. Right, exactly. And the big issue there is the real and if you borrow against the real estate. Now you do some insurance products and IULs and things like that. On an IUL, can you lose? Are there products out there that you cannot lose money on?
Yeah, it's interesting. A lot of these new indexed, they're called fixed index products, and they've got them for life insurance and annuities. They've changed a lot when they first came out. Kind of like a reverse mortgage, maybe 10 years ago, was a little different than what it is today.
Absolutely.
Today, you guaranteed against any loss, and some will allow you to participate in up to like 70% of the market's return. So you get 70% of the market up and 0% of the down. It's a very interesting concept, and they're very, very popular right now.
Now, I know that you can't say this, I can. I'm a big proponent, if you take money out of your real estate and put it into some of these different products, there's a arbitrage there, right? A spread between what you make and what you pay. And FINRA hates it when people tell you about that, so I'm not going to even ask Chris about that.
They used to call them misfortunes seminars, right?
Exactly.
I remember seeing them.
Yeah. So the bottom line is, and they don't like to talk about that because I've shared this with you before off air, Chris. When I worked at Merrill Lynch, we could never tell anybody we could help them make money. We had to tell them we were going to protect them from losing their money.
Wow.
Right? And I said, well, what do they need us for? Right? Just stick the money under your pillow. Right? But the bottom line is if you put together a plan and work a plan, you have a good opportunity to create financial well-being. I had to find the right terminology today.
Exactly.
Right? And that's what that whole planning process is all about, isn't it?
It really is. You know, again, what we really want to focus on is most Americans, they say 1/3 of all Americans are so stressed on their finances that it affects them at their work. So there's lost productivity to the employer, the employees are stressed, and that's really what we're trying to do is just say, hey, there's ways to get things organized so you feel good about your finances, and then you feel good about yourself.
Yeah, and Sergio, you could probably tell us better than I would. How many people come and visit? Sergio and his wife deal with a segment in the divorce world. And I bet you could tell us a lot better how many people get divorced because of finances.
I thought it was number one, right?
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, it's a huge area of why people divorce. And it's because of finances. And I want to chat with you, Chris, about this other one. You know, Wilbur Ross made this comment, and a lot of people got on his case about saying with the government shutdown. And, you know, how many people have the emergency fund?
Very little.
Right?
I think they have percentages like 90% of Americans don't have a month's worth of income.
Right.
And I will tell you this kind of surprising statistic, and I confirmed it last night. If you look worldwide at net worth, worldwide, top 10% is $93,000. Top 1% is $871,000.
$871,000 puts you in the top net worth.
Assets minus liabilities, your top 1% in the world. Now again, in America, those numbers are different, but it's kind of surprising that worldwide people just don't have a lot of assets. I mean,
right, and what's the 90% has?
So to be in the top 10%, you have a net worth of $93,000.
$93,000 puts you in the top 10%.
Yep, and $871 top one in the world.
That's fascinating numbers.
I know, it is.
Right, I mean, because a lot of people in Southern California, okay, so Sergio says infidelity is number one, but finances are right up there for sure.
Yeah, probably number two. A close number two, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's amazing. It is unbelievable, but think about those numbers, and I haven't seen the stats lately. I know the stats are out there for how many people don't even have $400. They blow out a tire, they're in trouble.
They just constantly always have that, where you always just hear about people just have no emergency savings. And the other thing you see too is people say, well, I'm going to put money in my 401k, but then they have to borrow the money out, or when they change jobs, I think it was like 1/3 of people just take the money and run. So even when they are saving, it's kind of depleting it, and it's not really going forward. It's like
right, and again, it's all about the planning, and you know, the plan to, what is it? If you fail to plan or plan to fail, something along those lines.
Right, people fail to plan.
Yeah. And the whole thing is, I think it has to do with our lack of education in this realm.
I think it's lack of education, and as we've discussed, we just have too much stuff coming at us. You know, and people, they're getting text messages and their cell phones ringing and social media and internet. Most people, it's just news and sensory overload. People don't even answer their phones anymore. People don't know how to pick their benefits at work. It's just, you know, people are frazzled. And so they need someone to just say, hey, let's just get everything organized, figure it out, and develop a plan.
Amazing. So we're going to continue our conversation with Chris Bissonnette. I want to make sure that you do know this. February 19th, 6:30 to 7:30. Thursday, February 21st, 6:30 to 7:30. Legacy Club. Chris is going to be talking about getting your financial house in order. Think about that one, although it could be getting financial well-being too. We'll just throw that out there just because that is part of the information. But, you know, go and check this out. We're going to put the information on the Ron Siegel Radio page. We'll put the information in our show notes as well. But I want you to make sure you get those dates. Save the dates and start learning. You might find some information on FICO scoring, about retirement, maybe selling your business, different ways of structuring that. We know Chris is an expert in college financial planning. So if you have kids, grandkids, great-grandkids, nieces, nephews, or are thinking about them, you might want to come and chat with Chris or hear what he has to say about those items as well. And you are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, the states with the highest average tax refund. I want a refund. Of course, and again, that means I would have paid too much, so I'm not sure I really do want a refund. We're going to talk more about that when we come back as well. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter, @Ron Siegel. And again, if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel the numeral 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel Radio in the archives, RonSiegelRadio.com. Check the archives. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey and the area-trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Most businesses struggle to get the online reviews they need to get a competitive edge over their competition. Rex is a brand new technology that uses text messages to direct happy clients to your online review sites, Zillow, Google, Facebook, and Yelp, and unhappy clients to a private survey, so businesses can win more customers. Try Rex today by going to www.meetrex.com.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed-rate loan below 4.25% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $295,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,400 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Or 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Do you have a goal of mortgage-free home ownership? What if your home was valued at $500,000? Are you aware that a free and clear home could be costing you $2,500 every month, $30,000 per year? The mortgage planners at the Siegel Lending Team would like to show you how you can own your home, generate tax-free income, and accumulate family wealth. You simply need to call the Ron Siegel Team at 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990. By sending the team a copy of your most recent mortgage statement, the team will send you a no-obligation real estate plan. You be the judge if this is right for your family. Again, all you have to do is send the team a copy of your mortgage statement by email to reap@ronsiegelradio.com or call today. Ron Siegel, 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990.
subject to change and without notice. Licensed by the California DOC and BRE NMLS 217037 and 145502 and Cal BRE 01869452 and 1866775.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message. And as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Word on Wealth segment today being brought to you by AskAboutReverseMortgages.com. Are you 62 years of age or older? Do you have some equity in your property? Well, then you may want to consider a reverse mortgage. You might want to learn about it at least. Never any harm in learning something new. It may or may not be right for you, but the reverse mortgage is out there, and it's not the same as your grandparents knew about. States with the highest average tax refund, the 2019 edition. 75% of American taxpayers overpaid on taxes in the tax year 2016, according to IRS data. They may have been overjoyed to get a handsome tax refund. This scenario means they are being reimbursed for money they lent to the government interest-free. We're in tax season. Whether or not an individual has a windfall on the way depends on his or her tax planning savvy, but residents of certain states overpay more on their taxes and thus get higher refunds. So the findings are $3,163 is the average tax refund for Americans who overpaid on their taxes. On average, Americans do not withhold enough taxes. 3/4 of Americans are refunded money. The Northeast pays the high taxes and receives large refunds. I guess they don't know how to plan. You'd think that with as cold as it is, that they'd be able to stay inside and do some planning.
Yeah, what else are they doing?
Exactly. I mean, think about it. Right now, Connecticut, they're number one on the tax refunds. The state piles on an additional income tax rate. Think about this. Are they complaining in Connecticut? They add 3% to 6.99%. This state also has an average effective property tax rate of 1.97%. In total, about 1.3 million Connecticut taxpayers received a refund, according to IRS data. On average, $3,844. New York, they get $3,800 back. Wyoming, they get $3,800 back. Massachusetts gets $3,477 back. And you can probably guess which state is number 5.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Yep, income taxes in California range from 1% to 13.3% based on your income. Sales taxes ranging from 7.35 to 10.25, depending upon where you're purchasing your goods. The good news for taxpayers here, tax refunds are sizable. More than 72% of taxpayers saw some kind of tax refund. On average, they get... drum roll. I guess I should have my drum roll. $3,439. Now, here is my suggestion, and it's just from the radio guy. I am not the financial planner any longer. I let those licenses go. If you get a refund of $3,439, take half of it and enjoy. As long as you don't have any bills that you're having to pay off. Take half of it. I mean, if you have bills, use that to pay off bills, right? But otherwise, take half of it, enjoy it. Take half of it and put it into an emergency fund. And I would suggest, now Chris, I don't want to ask you for financial advice, but here's my thought is take that money and put it into a Roth IRA.
That's great.
Right? I mean, it's going to grow over time.
Yep.
If you don't need it, just let it sit there.
Yep.
But from my understanding, and I'm not a tax guy either, you can take that in an emergency. You can take the principal out without any kind of tax liability.
Exactly. So it also creates liquidity. It's also, you can use it for college financial aid because it's not factored into the formula. And I'll go one step further. If you have kids, you can set up a kiddie IRA for them. So as long as they have earned income, like they get an allowance, you can set up an IRA for your son or daughter, and that'll create this tax-free liquid account that also can be used as a college plan and won't be factored into the college financial aid formula.
That's a big issue to understanding what goes into that formula because most of us have no idea.
Yeah, so the kiddie IRA would be another thing your listeners may want to look at if they have children that maybe get an allowance.
Sure.
They can sock in, I think now it's $6,000 or $7,000 a year, or $6,000 for 2019.
Beautiful. Good stuff. That, another item I want you to explain to me, Chris. And again, Chris is not giving you any advice. We are just talking about education here. HSA accounts and FSA accounts. Tell me a little about those.
Yeah, so here's a new thing that came out. Most people have no idea how they work. You definitely want to check with your employer to see if they're available. So health spending accounts allow you to put money in and then use that money to pay for anything that's health related. But the advantage to them is they have a triple tax exempt status. They're pre-tax going in, they grow tax deferred, and you take them out tax free. It's the only account like that. So if you have an HSA, health savings account, available to you through your employer, I would highly suggest putting money into it. Then they have something else called a flexible spending account. It doesn't work as tax advantageous, and you also need to use the money. There's not this rollover provision that you do have with the HSA. But the point is, check your benefits at work. Most people don't even know how to pick their benefits each year. They just choose what they did last year, and then they sometimes have...
And ironically, most people are a little older with the following year.
They're older. And
Right, have different needs.
And they have, sometimes I've even seen where people have free life insurance through their employer, but they don't check the box, even though it's free. And so they miss out on a $50,000 policy because they just didn't take the time to review their benefits.
And that's a shame, because there's so much there that we just don't understand and don't know, and then we end up saying, well, I didn't know I had it, and whose fault is that?
Yeah, again, it just goes back to we just have so much stuff coming at us, but get the PDF from your work and review it, or call. A lot of times you can call your HR, or you can call the company, the 800 number, and they'll walk you through how to pick your benefits and what's appropriate for you.
Interesting. So the other one that I wanted to, I don't know if you know anything about this, Chris. I'm going to put you on the spot. I hear about blockchain. What the heck is this whole phenomenon nowadays?
Yeah, you hear a lot, and I can't necessarily describe it exactly, but I'll give you an example of how it works. So a lot of stuff today is like on one server. So your information's on one server. Blockchain, what it does is it spreads it out to thousands of computers, and so it's more instantaneous, and also the security's much higher because it's not stored on one computer. And I'll give you one example of blockchain technology. A large insurance company has what's called flight delay insurance. So if you travel a lot, your flight gets delayed 2 hours, they'll reimburse you, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
The insurance company uses blockchain technology, and this gives an example of how it works. So they're tied right into the air traffic control station. You're at the airport, your flight's 2 hours delayed. The insurance company will then reimburse you the money instantaneously.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very cool. So that's an example of how blockchain technology...
So is that real money, or is it that
crypto?
Bitcoin?
I think it's real money.
Okay, that's different than crypto.
Yeah, crypto, I guess, uses blockchain technology, but a lot of companies now are investigating, and there's companies that invest in blockchain technology. So you could actually go purchase like an ETF or some investment, and they focus specifically on companies that utilize blockchain.
Interesting. So it's a whole new world for us to learn about.
Yeah, it creates more security, but it's interesting. It's like on thousands of computers all connected, like a big spider web out there.
Interesting. So just a little bit more for us to learn about.
Yes.
Are you going to be covering that at your financial literacy workshops?
I guess if someone asks me a question on it, I can.
It's just amazing how much there is. So the whole concept here, though, that you're with your workshops, looking at life management, savings and budgeting, college planning, debt management. Obviously that's the world that I kind of work in, is in the liability side of the balance sheet. Mm-hmm. That's a big issue. Nobody really talks about that.
Yeah, there's just so much that all these little subjects, I could do a whole workshop on each one. But when I do these workshops, I try and spend about 5 to 10 minutes on each subject. Just give people enough information, and then I can always engage them later.
Sure. That makes sense. Interesting stuff. Again, if you want more information on the workshops that Chris is doing, February 19th, February 21st, they're both 6:30 to 7:30 in the evening. I may go just because he's got food from the winery is going to be there.
Kaboom. So, Kaboom.
You might want to just, is it wine from the winery or food from the winery?
Possibly both. Possibly both.
We're not going to advertise all that kind of good stuff. But it is. It looks like a great information. If you want info on it, Give me a call at 800-306-1990. I'll put you in touch with Chris. You do have to RSVP to go to it, so they have to know how much food to bring and all materials for everybody to have there the right. And I know I do a lot of speaking engagements. If you don't know how much materials to bring, to have prepared, you can be in trouble with that part of it too. So we want to make sure you got enough seating, enough materials for everybody. Give me a call at 800-306-1990 if you want more information on that. And be sure to set that first radio preset button to come back here every day to join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Sergio, I like that. What's a refund? Yeah, my wife spends it all before it ever gets to me as well. Alex, you don't get a refund either. That's you guys are just too good at planning, I guess. That's the whole issue there. You guys are too smart. But the bottom line, again, thanks to all of our sponsors. Big thanks to John, who's engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you want to meet any of our guests, if you want an introduction to Chris Bissonnette, give me a call at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We will talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.